I want to share this with you. This is funny, right? So
Right.
this is our generation, the generation under us in a nutshell, right? I stumbled upon this when I was looking at Instagram, but it tied into, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3, masters. And I want to talk about it because we're seeing a renaissance of nostalgia, right? So the 90s especially, 90s and Y2K, because millennials lust after their youth like no one else, right? Millennials are constantly going back to looking at the Backstreet Boys, the Spice Girls, and all the cool tech, like the Nokia phones, the flip phones, CDs, and all of these cultural moments that really sort of basically brought us together as kids, right? And so you look at millennials when they're talking about, oh, when we were clubbing, we did this. And then when we did that, we did this.
Yeah,
and I know Gen X do that as well, but Gen X are a little too cool. Gen X are like, yeah, we did things, but we were too cool. And if you didn't see it, you don't get to know about it. Whereas millennials like, we did this thing. It's amazing. Oh my God, it's so good. And I think Gen Z are realizing how much they've missed out on. And so they're wanting to have this renaissance of Y2K, and they're all going back to that era and embracing things. And they're looking at, what they call dumb phones. They're looking at CDs. They're looking at taking a much more analog approach to their life. And I think this is why they look at themselves and they're looking in the mirror, literally and metaphorically speaking, going, what is this that we've been sold? I don't like it,
Can I scare you, Carly?
Oh, God, yeah.
What year were you born?
86.
So in 2 years' time, the distance between the end of World War II and your birthday will be less than the distance between your birthday and that day.
Say that again.
Now, for you, it's another 2 years away. For me, it's already happened. My birthday is closer to the end of World War II than it is to today. I've been alive for more than half of the time that has passed since the end of World War II. And can you bring that little graph up again? Because I just want to really depress you. So you were born in the mid 80s. So that 50s to 60s was only 35 years or so before then. 25 to 35 years before you were born. Today is 39 years since you were born. So your birthday was closer to that top picture than it is to today. Do you feel old?
No.
Oh, okay,
I don't care about age. I'm so unfazed. I am so like, how people freak out about turning 40? I'm like, yay. Like, I don't care. I don't know. I don't understand the age thing. I don't understand why women lie about their age. It's weird. I don't know. I don't get it.
So the only one that got me was when I realized I was closer to 30 than I was to 25. So somewhere like 27 and a half issues, a bit past there. Yeah. And I don't know why. I just woke up one day and my brain went, you're closer to being 30 than to 25. And that had me a little bit rattled for like a day. But that's the only time it's ever really bothered me.
Do you know what I find weird about turning 40? And I can't remember if we've had this conversation before. Is like, I say that and I'm like, wait, that's an adult. I don't feel like an adult. And I know this is a real like millennial thing to say, but I'm sort of going, wait, I remember being at my dad's 40th birthday and I remember it being a big group of adults and I'm that age and I'm looking in the mirror going, I'm not an adult yet.
So not only are you an adult, you've now been an adult for an adult number of years. Your 40th is the 22nd birthday of your 18th birthday.
Yeah, it's weird. And the other thing is too, and I'm sure all of the guys in the chat can relate to this too, up here, I'm still 20-year-old. I think that's very obvious in the way I show up on this podcast. I don't feel 40 at all. It's weird. It's a weird number to be associated with. Like, I know that's it, but at the same time, I'm, you know what I mean? But yeah, so the reason I brought up the nostalgia thing is I really do feel everyone's collectively feeling this heaviness. And even through all my research, right, this is something that I keep coming back to. I believe there is going to be a huge shift towards offline. As much as the governments keep trying to implement, as much as they're trying to bring AI into everything, I think you're going to find people's really starting to embrace, not in a more like off the grid, like I'm going to completely remove myself from society, from a, I'm opting out. I'm not joining whatever the next social media platform is. I'm not buying whatever the new smartphone is. And I can see this in myself. I'll give you an example. I used to be on that hamster wheel of upgrading the phone, upgrading the computer, upgrading everything, right? And as you get older, you get to a point where you go, I don't care. I'm opting out. I'm going to keep this phone until it literally dies. I'll keep my car until it dies because I don't, with the car thing, I don't want a modern car. I don't want a car with all the bells and whistles. I don't want it to beep at me all the time.
Yes. I have some great news. I'm preparing a video on this. The ANCAP rules have been changed for starting next year. So the reason why cars ding at us so relentlessly now, since 2023 till now, is when it's been at its worst. It's because ANCAP, the safety ratings people, said you cannot get a 5-star rating unless you have aggressive lane keeping assist and adaptive cruise control with distance monitoring and the emergency braking and that. You have to have all that stuff. You cannot get a 5-star rating without it. And in order for those things to be classified as being in the car, they have to ding and dong at you, all the beeps and boops, all the warnings, all the scolding, and they all have to default to being on every time you turn on the car, so that if you want to turn them off. And also, by the way, they actually they've made it a rule that it cannot be a single button deactivation for a lot of these systems. A lot of these systems can only be deactivated by going into menus. It has to be at least 2 buttons to be able to turn these things off. That was all ANCAP. Now, in the 2026 update, and I'm working on a video on this, they have recognized a thing called, I think it's called warning fatigue. This is something that's been known about in airliners for a long time. If everything beeps at you, number one, it's information overload. And number two, eventually the beeps stop meaning anything. You walk through a hospital ward and those nurses, I don't know how they do it. When I go to a hospital, it drives me insane. All the beep, 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 the constant beeping. The nurses have tuned that out. Now, if they hear one of the bad beeps, they definitely respond. But those beeps that are just there in the background, they've tuned those out. And this is a problem with airliners. This is a problem with pilots. You need them to pay attention. So with cars, what they've realized is people are turning all the systems off because they're too annoying. Or if they leave the systems on, they're just driving in a manner that basically ignores them. They've tuned them out. And so the new update for ANCAP, wonderful news for everybody. The systems will be easier to turn off, but more importantly, they will be far less intrusive when they're on. So you could keep a lane keeping assist on and it's not going to be bullying you and scolding you all the time. Because I like to have it on, for example, when I'm on the freeway. Like I'll turn lane keeping assist on. It's a 2017 car, so it's a pretty early version of lane keeping, but I'll turn that on just as an extra layer of protection while I'm on the open road. But I don't want the damn thing beeping at me. And as of next year, for those of you that can afford a new car, which who can, but for those that can, and then eventually they'll make their way into the secondhand market, I reckon we'll just have to avoid that 2023 to 2026 range. Just avoid that, and you'll be able to avoid the worst of the beeps and boops. Oh, hi, you're still here. I just assumed everyone had left because Carly always falls asleep. Let's be honest. Oh, is that just me? I fall asleep because Carly... I don't know. Anyway, you're still here. So, did you just hit the... Carly, did you just reach... Seriously? Can you not leave well enough alone?
No, I must infiltrate every part of your life.
Back to me. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, because I suffer through Carly twice a week for you. I drive hours from where I live down to Melbourne to be tortured by Carly every week, and I do it for you because I love you so much. So, please help me out. Just like, comment, subscribe, share the show, make sure that everyone else can join in the fun, and show up next week for like more oddcasty goodness. And if you really, really want to help me, then you can buy me a coffee via that little QR code there. You'll be supporting the show and helping me to tolerate Carly.